Welcome back, Truth Seeker. This might be, I don't even know how to put it. This might be one of the most important decodes I ever did, though, because it might appeal to a lot of people in the same way that when Kobe died, the video appealed to people. But censorship's a lot worse than then, so we'll see what happens. Anyhow, for those of you who are younger, at the beginning of the 2000s, Dave Chappelle was the #1 comedian. He had a hit show on Comedy Central, The Dave Chappelle Show. Most of the skits were hilarious. I mean, it was like the best comedy you'd seen on Comedy Central. And, it was a hit. And then all of a sudden the story became that something happened in Dave Chappelle's life and he didn't want to do the show anymore and he disappeared to Africa. And then he came back years later and he seemed like a totally different person, not nearly as funny, a lot bulkier and muscular. But one of the skits that a lot of people liked, I actually didn't like it, man, because I felt bad for R. Kelly. I'm going to play just a little bit of it. They better not copyright strike me again. And by the way, if you missed this morning's stream on Snoop Dogg, I'm waiting for it to publish on BitChute. BitChute does censor some content, and it never makes it through processing, so I don't know if they're going to do that with this video. But if you missed out on this morning's stream, it's too bad, because very vital information. I'll try to figure out a place that I can get it back up, but I've been trying on it for about an hour on BitChute. Anyway, I do want to play a little clip of this, but I don't want to give them much of a reason to take down this video. But here's today's story. Again, Dave Chappelle is now a civil rights hero on the anniversary of Gerald Ford recognizing Black History Month. Today was the day in 1976, which we'll get to. We'll get to how all of this is so important. But today, February 10th, 2022, Dave Chappelle saves the town of Yellow Springs, Ohio. And I said, come on, man, Yellow Springs, Ohio. One of the things he's most remembered for is his Piss on You music video making fun of R. Kelly. And remember what they did to R. Kelly this year? R. Kelly was found guilty of sexual crimes, because that was the story about R. Kelly. All these videos came out at the beginning of the 2000s in the internet age and the new porn age. One of the big breakthroughs in the world of porn in the early days of the internet was the collection of R. Kelly tapes of having sex with young girls and peeing on them. So Dave Chappelle, when this was the thing, he made a big skit on this, which a lot of people thought was absolutely hilarious. And I remember at the time, I just thought it was all messed up. I just thought the whole thing was wrong. The tapes coming out, just all of it just seemed all messed up. And now look, R. Kelly goes to prison for it, reportedly. September 27th, the day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome. If you haven't read my latest book, Number Games, I get into Dave Chappelle and how he was used ritualistically in the George Floyd ritual. And if we read from the book, I mean, you'll see how today's so perfect with exactly what I wrote about. But before we get into this, I just want you to understand, this is just 1,000,000% proof of how sick but how funny this Jesuit cabal is, and how they just play the world for fools using the celebrities they own to contrive news stories day after day to get people divided. Because some people are going to see Dave Chappelle as a hero for this, and some people are going to think he's some kind of asshole, preventing better quality of life for poorer people. And that's why they set up these stories. But your mind's going to be blown by how synced up this is with Dave Chappelle and R. Kelly and the history of this music video, I Want to Piss on You, releasing on March 26th. Isn't it funny we talked about March 26th in this morning stream? If this thing ever processes, you can go back and listen to what I was saying about March 26th in the Snoop Dogg video this morning, and why Eazy-E died on that day in history, and what it has to do with the Jesuits and Black Lives Matter and this messed up history. Piss on You came out March 26th, 2003, and we'll get to why that matters, in case you don't know already. But hold on. A little clip from this. Just a little clip. We're just going to go through a few of the lyrics here in the chorus. You don't need to shut me down, YouTube. I'm only going to show, I'm slowing it down 3/4 speed, but I don't know. 15 seconds here. Give me a break. Here we go.
And I'm paid, I got it made. Take me to your special place. Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it.
I mean, just think about it all. He's paid. He's got it made. He don't want nothing but to piss on you. Now he's the savior of Yellow Springs. Just wait. You're going to see how fucked up this is. Man. Watch this. Okay. So today's 10/2. You remember how after the George Floyd killing, there was a big deal about 846, and then Dave Chappelle came out with a sketch, 846, saying he was born at 846 in the morning and talking about the George Floyd experience? Here's the way I'm going to break this down to you. Check this out. Do you remember Urkel, Steve Urkel, and Family Matters? This is from an episode of Family Matters. You know, they come out to the lockers and somebody spray painted the N-word on the locker. And I want you to see how messed up this is. This episode was the 42nd episode of Family Matters, and it was titled Fight the Good Fight, and it came out on March 1st, which is the 60th day of the year. So 60th day of the year, 42nd episode, and the name of the episode is Fight the Good Fight. Look at how they coded the N-word. 60, 42, 102. You see how they did that? 60, 42, 102. And when you write out the episode name, Fight the Good Fight, 102. 60th day of the year, 42nd episode, titled 102. Remember, after the Ahmaud Arbery killing, which was a big Jesuit ritual, synced up with the World Series, rigged for the Braves, something we saw coming in spring training. And the Ahmaud Arbery was on the 54th day of the year. Ahmaud Arbery equals 54, Jesuit order, baseball. Hank Aaron played until he was 42. The Braves won the World Series after the Ahmaud Arbery thing on the day that the Braves let go of Hank Aaron in history. If you missed my live call on the 42nd pitch of the deciding game, we saw the home run coming a mile away. Big black man up at the plate, Soler, just like Hank Aaron. Wasn't hard to see what was coming in the scripted Jesuit ritual that was. But look at it, you guys. You see how they do this? So here we are on February 10th, 10/2, like 102. Remember, George Perry Floyd equals 102. Dave Chappelle's rising up as this civil rights, kind of leader. Controversial, though. People are taking sides. Divisive, right? The liberals are getting on this side. The conservatives are getting on this side. He's being used to play that part to divide people among the political alliances they have. Everyone needs to break out of these political parties and just think about things. You don't have to agree with everything somebody says, but you start getting into politics, you're going to get played. And that's what everyone's doing. They're getting played, and they're not seeing it. If you missed the video I talked about with Snoop Dogg buying death row this morning, I'm showing how all these people that a lot of us in my age group, this is my age group right here, Snoop Dogg, Dave Chappelle, a lot of people grew up idolizing these people. Now look at them. Snoop Dogg supposedly buys death row. Dave Chappelle rising up and stopping, what could be, what policy that looks nice for his people, but actually ultimately hurts them. Anyway, look at this. I got to show you something about the word slavery, too, because, again, don't forget the American Civil War began in history on the 102nd day of the year. Slavery's got the 102 in it as well, 30 and 42. Look at the N-word. 4 base ciphers, alphabetic order with the rules numerology, reverse alphabetic order with the rules numerology. Very elementary. It's a system, not to be manipulated, but a system. And, again, for those of you guys, just to make a point about understanding this knowledge, how beneficial it is, we thought that Mahomes was going to go to 3 straight Super Bowls, and we were dead on about what happened in the first 2. And the ritual for him to get to the third was to become 10-2 in the playoffs in his 102nd game. And the way they lined up the playoffs this year, he could have got his 60th career win. Notice both games he won, he had 42 points. His dad won 42 career baseball games as a pro baseball player, like Jackie number 42 and Jackie's 42. And when he won the Super Bowl 54, he had 42 pass attempts, the same numbers over and over. But they had this ritual synced up with his father for the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, if they did it. But what we noticed in the wild card round is I said, wow, they got a perfect ritual synced up with Joe Burrow's father too. So even though we were riding the Chiefs all the way, when I saw the Burrow thing, how it was perfectly lined up with his father, we said, hold on, we got to hedge with this because they're doing one of these 2 narratives. And it made me think that maybe they had 2 different Super Bowls potentially scripted. The Black Lives Matter Slave Tribute Bowl or the Royal Family Joe Burrow Bowl like we're now talking about, because both were synced up with the fathers. Again, Tiger 76, Joe Burrow the Tiger in the year of the Tiger in the Super Bowl 76 days after his birthday in the Bengals' 54th season when his dad played 54 professional football games. And by the way, Mary J. Blige is the halftime performer, 102, for the 102nd NFL season. where Mahomes just as easily could have become 10-2 in the playoffs and won his 60th career game. Would have all made sense in light of what they do with these numbers over and over. That's why the people who come and judge and hate, it's like, dude, I've nailed almost everything in the time I've been here, and when I've missed, I haven't been that far off, and when I have missed, I've seen where I might go wrong before it happened to keep people on the right path as I did this year. But again, Family Affair. Mary J. Blige is going to be singing Family Affair at the Super Bowl, and the one all synced up with Joe Burrow's dad, and I'm sure there's plenty of other family rituals going on there as well. But anyway, coming back to this, I just want people to understand the significance of these numbers. And with regards to this about being divisive, look into the text Art of War, because I'm telling you, the Jesuits are behind all this. The language, the calendar, the history. Art of War, supposedly written by Sun Tzu, Chinese, like, here we are with all the tiger rituals. Year of the Tiger, that's a Chinese thing. Art of War is supposedly written by Sun Tzu, but there's no historical record anywhere that a Sun Tzu ever existed. The reason people know about the text is because a Jesuit priest supposedly found the Chinese writings of Sun Tzu and translated it. So a Jesuit priest is the reason that Art of War is known about. And again, Art of War is tactics for winning battles. Not every battle has to be, shooting guns at each other. There's a battle for the minds of everybody and to control them and to keep them in this state where they're easily exploited, as we are. But Art of War, you see how it's got the 102, just like World War? World War's got the 102, again, the American Civil War on the 102nd day of the year. All these things have been Jesuit rituals over the years. This is how they're feeling the race war right now. And think about Dave Chappelle with his, he had the racial draft, Tiger Woods, the Tiger Woods joke. They traded Tiger Woods and Colin Powell. This year, Colin Powell died by the numbers on the anniversary of event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation, the reflection of 102. But anyway, and by the way, not only did Colin Powell die on the anniversary of event 201, he died at age 84, and those are Jesuit order numbers. You see how the Jesuit order is 177? So is Klaus Schwab, who put on event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation. You can go on all day about this. But there's an old episode of Time Magazine, which is also 201, from like a decade and a half ago, back when George W. Bush was in power and Colin Powell was up at the top of the military. And the front page of Time Magazine is that the cover is how the U.S. people are being turned into medical guinea pigs. That's what the Time Magazine article is. But then there's a top headline story about Colin Powell. And then Colin Powell ends up dying in this age of medical guinea pigs on the anniversary of event 201 at age 84. Anyway, I'm just trying to make the point. The Jesuits are behind all this shit. Now, here's how perfect it is. Again, Dave Chappelle rising up on this date, the date in history that Gerald Ford recognized Black History Month as a thing. And by the way, if you just missed my work over on GematriaEffectNews about Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Month, by the way, Carter G. Woodson, you see how his name's 177-69-201? Just like the Jesuit order. 177-69-201. And where was the first observance of Black History Month? At Kent State, which was recognized as a university on September 27th, the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by Rome. The same day that R. Kelly got sentenced or was found guilty and on his way in the soap. I mean, right now they're saying he's in prison. I don't know what's really going on, but just that ritual shaming was September 27th at age 54. And again, that's another big number with the Jesuits. Jesuit Order 54. Their logo is the sun, Sun Tzu, Art of War. Again, there's a reason for all these numbers. It's a lot to explain. That's why I write books about it. It's hard to communicate it all in a video every time. But anyway, all of this stuff is rituals and time and tribute to the sun. The Catholic Church, again, they gave us the calendar, the language. It's all based on the sun. By the way, the model that everything goes around the sun, again, heliocentrism's got the 201 in it, like the Jesuit order. Also the 150. Notice how Order of Illuminati, founded by a Jesuit, is 201 and 93, and Illuminati alone is 150. The sun, they say, is 150 million kilometers away, or 93 million miles. You see? And it's just like, again, Baldwin this year supposedly shoots a woman on a movie set at 1:50 in the afternoon, 201 days after his birthday, and 93 days after the anniversary of Bruce Lee's death on the 201st day of the year, when Bruce Lee's son also died in relation to a movie, Brandon Lee, on the set of The Crow, and was buried on the 93rd day of 93, which was Baldwin's birthday. You see? You see what this reveals? There's so much to say about all these numbers. It's just understand. This is the code. This is how it works. And with regards to Black History Month being recognized at Kent State, a few months later on May 4th, 5/4, there was a massacre. R. Kelly has another sentencing date coming up on May 4th, 5/4, which was agreed to while he was still 54. Anyway, with regards to Gerald Ford, by the way, Gerald Ford gave us the perfect clue about why Kamala Harris would be the first female VP. Actually, he gave it all away in 1989 if you were following carefully enough. And we've been covering that a lot, so I'm not going to go back down that road. But again, he gave away a big piece of the future Black history of this nation. And it was 1976, again, that he recognized Black History Month. And remember what 76 is. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, slave is 76. Remember, we were just talking about slavery 102. Negro is 76. Blues is 76. Rasta is 76. The first black president, Barack Obama, is 76. His new book, A Promised Land, biblical, 76. Acts 7:6 in the Bibles from the 44th book, Obama number 44, put out A Promised Land on November 17th, the day leaving 44 days left in the year. The same day that R. Kelly, at the end of last year, got sentenced to 96 months in prison. Same day young Dolph died by the numbers in a big 201 ritual. The Illuminati, established by a Jesuit. The Jesuits running the show in tribute to the sun, the light source. You guys, there's a gazillion more ways I can prove it. But anyway, 76. Acts 7:6 is about the 400-year prophecy of slavery, which is how we were able to predict that at the end of 2019 or the start of 2020, some really bad shit was going to come to America, which was dead on with the COVID-19 story and what's happened since then. Because Acts 7:7 is about that nation getting punished after the 400 years of slavery, and 7:7 matters because United States equals 77. But anyhow, 76, all these 76s. Here we are in the year of the Tiger. Tiger 76. Again, the Auburn Tigers just lost their first game in 76 days, losing with 76 points to start the year of the Tiger. And on the same day, LSU won with 76 points. Now, the 76er, Ben Simmons, who's an LSU Tiger, getting humiliated today probably on 10/2. Or who knows, maybe this is finally going to be the turning point for him, the LSU Tiger in the year of the Tiger. But he's born in 96 like Joe Burrow, who's about to be in the Super Bowl 76 days after his dad's birthday. The LSU Tiger who beat the Clemson Tiger, who only had to sacrifice like 5 black people in the city of New Orleans and Louisiana to get that championship. As I went down there 2 years ago and educated about on the streets, and was well received by a lot of people. It was a great experience. Shout out to New Orleans. NOLA. That NOLA's 42, coding that 42 all over Black history. But here's how you can see how special Dave Chappelle is, that he's big time chosen. Today is the Pope's 56th day of his age, the first Jesuit Pope. The Jesuit order serves the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope. Today is the Pope's 56th day of his age. Again, this is what I wrote about in the book, the significance of Dave Chappelle equaling 56, and him being used in all these rituals from Black Lives Matter, 56, to coronavirus. He's been used in all of them. You know, vaccinations. By the way, his whole thing going against transgender, you know, how did that get popular? With Caitlyn Jenner 201, you see how this all works? All the shit they contrive and encode, they use to keep people picking sides and divided. Caitlyn Jenner's 150 and 201, those Illuminati numbers we just talked about. But, again, the word Pope is 56. The Pope's birthday is December 17th. Today's the 41st day of the year. From the Pope's birthday to today is 55 days later, or it's his 56th day of his age if you also count the date of his birth. 55 days after, or his 56th day of his age. And again, this is all right before Super Bowl 56. Like we were talking about with Snoop Dogg this morning, he just bought Death Row Records, supposedly, established on the 56th day of the year. Right before Super Bowl 56, while Dr. Dre's 56, when his whole murder was the case that made him so famous, that murder was 56 days from his birthday. Tupac dies around the same time he's blowing up. The Machiavelli album comes out with Tupac on the cross looking like Jesus on November 5th, the Jesuit Guy Fawkes Day, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. But, again, Dave Chappelle's got the numbers, you know. He's got that big old 56. He's also got a 61 like Jesus. We'll talk about the 241. We talked a lot about 110. And if you've read my book, you know about Dave Chappelle and where these numbers fit in. But we're about to hit the 241 here in just a minute in a big way with this ritual. It's a reminder of how important all these numbers are. So anyway, it's the 56th day of the Pope's age, right? We haven't even really hit anything yet. So look at this. Again, the Piss on You music video came out March 26, 26/3, like 263, the 56 prime. This is the day in history that Eazy-E died 201 days after his own birthday, the same day Tupac ended up getting shot on. September 7th, Eazy-E's birthday. He dies 201 days after his birthday on March 26th, and Eazy-E was known for Ruthless Records. Ruthless Records 201, and, you know, there's the song spelled Fuck Wit without the H, Dre Day, how it is on the album. There's that 15201. You know, that was Dre and Snoop Dogg talking shit to Eazy-E. He ends up dying 201 days after. And I forget what the name of the new group is. Is it Mount Westmore? I forget what their new group is. But whatever their new group, that is it. Mount Westmore, 201, 150. You see this Illuminati thing? It's all about the sun. It's all about the sun cult that synced up the calendar and the language and astrology and is doing all these rituals day after day. And realize this all went into plan in the 16th century. That's how they got so far to where they are today. You know, this didn't start here. This didn't just start overnight. This started in the 16th century, way before any of us were around here. But here's the thing about this Piss on You. It just gets better and better. Okay. Maybe I wrote it down below. Look at this. The leader of the Jesuits right now, their superior general, known as the Black Pope, Arturo Sosa, from his birthday to today, 90 days later. Notice where Piss on You and Holy Bible meet. Do you see it? 90, right? These are biblical riddles, like Acts 7:6. You see, they're using the Bible to literally piss on us. And a lot of Christians take issue with me because I say I'm not a Christian. You guys are not fair when you just hear like, oh, he's not like me, so I hate that guy. I say there is good stuff in the Bible, but I think ultimately it was put here by the same controllers who want the mind's eye of the masses, and they want them to believe and behave a certain way because it makes them easier to control. I think religion, government, entertainment, all of this stuff is a part of it, and I think I'm proving it very well. I think all of you guys who get so mad at me are hard-headed. You guys act like I'm some kind of evil demon not on your side. If you think you're fighting evil, then you're on the same side as me. And I don't think I'm fighting evil. I know I'm fighting evil. I could be wrong about religion, but again, I just, so many people have to believe in stuff. I don't put my thoughts and ideas in beliefs. I put my thoughts and ideas in evidence, what I see happen with my own eyes, my own life experience. And some things are spiritual and harder to explain, Like I think the synchronicities we have in our life, that's proof of God and God communicating to us. Sometimes a synchronicity is very positive, and sometimes it's like, man, I almost feel like I just got hit with a lightning bolt. And you know why. But anyway, look at the Gematria Piss on You and Holy Bible in Jesuit order. And keep in mind that 153 is a biblical number. The miraculous catch of 153 fish. 153 is the 17th triangular number. Dave Chappelle's in Ohio, the 17th state. Remember, this all in tribute to God. This code of letters and numbers comes from Kabbalah in tribute to God. It's the Kabbalistic belief that God created the world with numbers, letters, words. 153 is the 17th triangular. Ohio's the 17th state. God's 17. Remember, it was this exact number pattern that told us the day that LeBron went to the Lakers from Cleveland. By the way, Cavaliers is also 153. And, that's biblically related. They're named after King Charles, the son of King James, who a Bible's named after. Not to mention King James Bible equals 56. King James Bible came out in 1611, the year he turned 45, like Holy Bible's 45 forwards and backwards. But remember, LeBron went to the Lakers on the $153 million deal that days later then they reported as a $154 million deal, and that's because King James equals 154. But when initially the 153 made a lot of sense because he went from Ohio, the 17th state, and the Cavaliers to the Lakers on July 1st, 1/7, like 17, and that's why I said that day. LeBron will win the Lakers their 17th championship, NBA 17, in his 17th season. And that was the year Kobe ended up dying. On the 41st day of the Pope's age at age 41. Kobe Bryant, 41. 41 weeks later, the Lakers win the finals on Father-Daughter Day. Who synced up this calendar and made these holidays? It's Catholic. There's your answer. Kobe was traveling from Catholic Mass, 201. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the name of the Pope, 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201, the founder of the Jesuits. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. You have to know the different numbers that they use because they use them ritualistically over and over. So, again, Dave Chappelle becomes the hero of Yellow Springs, who got famous with the Piss on You song. And it was all off R. Kelly, who just got ritually shamed. Well, look at this. R. Kelly's going to be in front of cameras again on May 4th, on 5/4, and from today to May 4th is 83 days. And we talked about this before with some of the stuff they did with R. Kelly. R. Kelly's 83. And look, Yellow Springs, Ohio, 83. It's also 241 like Dave Chappelle, the 53rd prime, and if you read the story, look what it says. According to the Dayton Daily News, a plan for Oberer homes can move forward, but without the affordable housing that originally had been planned as part of a development of single-family homes, townhomes, and duplexes to be built on a 53-acre area. 53. And again, 241's the 53rd prime, and Dave Chappelle in Yellow Springs, Ohio are both 241. And the thing about 53 is that number is associated with the feminine. This is in tribute to R. Kelly, who got in trouble for having sex. Again, the word vesica Pisces, which is very similar to, a vagina, equals 53 in Gematria. And again, R. Kelly's in trouble for having sex with young women, and he's ritually shamed. And a lot more people know about that whole thing with him peeing on girls because of Dave Chappelle and his massive hit comedy at the time. And again, I love this comedy thing, but I never laughed at this skit. I never thought it was funny. I just thought it was fucked up. And somebody's like, oh, come on, it was funny. I don't know. I didn't like it. I grew up liking R. Kelly. I felt bad about all of it. And honestly, you guys, I'm just going to throw this out there too. I've never been as a man. For you younger guys, by the time you get to your early 20s, late teens, you're going to have younger girls jocking you so hard, and you're going to have to, be careful so you don't catch a card, because there's all sorts of laws in this nation. But the reality is, I never went that avenue. I never messed with the younger girls. I mean, I was always more attracted to girls my age, and I always actually tried to chase girls that were a little bit older than me when I was younger, because they were usually more interesting. But the thing is, if a 20-year-old guy has sex with a 15-year-old girl, should that really be a prison sentence? Because, I remember being 15. I was pretty much very similar to how I am now. I was sexually capable. And that's the thing, too, about a lot of you religious people. You're believing more in what's in books than the way God actually built you. You're not paying attention to your own mechanisms. Do you really think God intended for you to have to be in a courtroom signing papers before you can use your dick in your pants? Do you really think that was God's plan? Because if so, I don't know why he doesn't have birds raining down law documents and shit for us to sign all over so the government can fuck us up if our relations ever break apart. Because then you end up in a courtroom with lawyers and all these fees and shit. But I don't remember God ever raining down letters about, these contracts we need to be making. That was all stuff written in books. And notice it's man that writes books and turns paper and laws and all this shit. This is man stuff. God gave you this body. And if you were like me, by the time you were probably 12, 13, 14 years old, you started waking up with a hard-on in your pants every day. Like you were supposed to put that thing to work. And, it's not to say that you can't control it, and you shouldn't, because there's a lot of responsibility with sex and getting somebody pregnant. I understand all that. But, again, the point is, when you're 15, when you're 20, you're on a similar wavelength, and these things are happening, and some 15-year-old girls really want to be with the 20-year-old guy because they're attracted to him. He's more experienced. He might be attracted to her. Her body might have matured way faster than his did. She might be on a physical tier. Anyway, the point is, the people are ending up in jail cells all across this nation because of all these rules that man came up with, and are these the right rules? That we know these are the things that fascinate people's minds, because look at the news stories that people get into. Look at how, if there's a pedophile story, Jeffrey Epstein born on 20/1, and then his, what's her name? Giswell or something? Maxine Giswell or something? It's like, come on, man. But whatever the fuck her name is. But then she gets busted on 12/29, the 201st prime, and I've been telling you all along that all this stuff's a major psyop. All this is major psychological operations. All this stuff in the media is just meant to fuck with your head and keep you distracted. But they got everybody so focused on sex. And I think a lot of it is because we grow up in this society where it tries to sexually suppress us, scare us about sex. In my generation, if you're growing up, you thought if you fucked anybody, you were going to get HIV and AIDS instantly. That's how they tried to make it feel in school, commercials, even the rappers in the early 90s. How many lyrics are there about, how to keep from catching a case? But, you get older and you're like, man, I feel like I should have died from AIDS by now. I haven't really noticed any problems. I'm just going to keep eating well and take care of myself. And anyway, This stuff, you guys, I mean, this is why it's all Jesuits. They've been fucking with our minds since the beginning, and all this stuff is essentially a nonstop, everyday mind fuck to keep people divided. Look at urine in Yellow Springs, you guys. Look at the fucking Gematria. And I mean, are you kidding me? 83 days from his next sentencing date on May 4th? Again, just the same patterns, the same rituals. This all. With regards to the 42, hold on. I know I wrote it all down. I skipped over some things. Okay, check this out. Dave Chappelle. This news comes on Dave Chappelle's 171st day of his age. That's the 18th triangular number. And that number is so important to the Jesuits. Their logo is the sun, which is 18. Oh my God, I cannot type. Sun is 18. It's also 54. Like, again, R. Kelly getting shamed on the Jesuit date, age 54, and then the sentencing for May 4th. But IHS is 18 forwards and backwards, and that's the Jesuit logo, the sun with IHS written in it for Jesus Hominum Salvator. And, you know, R. Kelly, one of his big albums is R-rated. He's R. Kelly, right? R's the 18th letter. Have you ever thought about the word soldier? How you need to be 18 to serve in the combat and actual military? You know, to actually be in a combat situation, you got to be 18. And look at the word soul for sun, die for death, R, the 18th letter. Die under the sun, 18. And remember, the Jesuits, they're Catholic and Jewish. That's why the Supreme Court, which is all Catholic and Jewish, is always doing rituals with the Jesuit numbers. If you missed my work on Breyer's retirement and how it hit all 4 Jesuit-based ciphers, again, if you guys missed it, here, I'll just tell you again. Breyer announced his retirement 201 days before his 84th birthday, and from the anniversary of him becoming a Supreme Court justice to the announcement was his 177th day of being a Supreme Court justice since that anniversary, and on a date with 69 numerology. And Supreme Court's also 69. And it's all synced up with Kamala Harris, the first black female vice president. Breyer's full name equals 99. He retired 99 days after Kamala Harris, whose full name equals... Or hold on, I forget what it was. Kamala might have the 99 connection too. But anyway, it was 99 days after Kamala's birthday, and Breyer's full name is 99 forwards and backwards. First black female VP who took the office at age 56, like Black Lives Matter's 56, like how Obama won the 56th presidential election. And there's a lot of parallels between Obama and Kamala. After one-term senators, they wound up in the White House. But again, you got to know these ciphers to see how they do it forwards and backwards all the time. Anyhow, 171st day of Chappelle's age, 18th triangular number, big number with the Jesuits. With regards to the Jesuits being Catholic and Jewish, if you write out Jewish mysticism, it's 201. The state of Israel's 201. David Ben-Gurion, who declared Israel a nation, died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. These numbers are all over the place in history, showing, you know, what the Jesuits are responsible for, which is pretty much everything you know from your history book. And again, in Jewish mysticism, numbers have meaning. This is where all this Kabbalah comes from. 18 represents the meaning of life. That's why when you turn 18, it's a real big deal in Judaism. And notice, that became the adopted thing for our culture. We now consider that the age where you're an adult. And it seems pretty fucking arbitrary if you actually think about it. I know 12-year-olds that are way more mature than some 20-year-olds. I'd be more inclined to say that 12-year-old's an adult compared to this 20-year-old over here. Why are we just doing things by the numbers? Have you realized that our whole society's like that? Everything's numbered, including you from birth. Do you think that's the way school should really go, that people just get forced through at the same age? Do you think that's the way it should really be, the way they do it? Because I can tell you it absolutely should not. Again, there's some 5-year-olds that are little fucking rocket scientists. Why should they be in a classroom of other 5-year-olds that don't have nearly the brain development that somehow that one has? He should probably be in middle school, maybe even high school. He's way more advanced, but he's going to have to go through the system at the snail pace because that's how it was designed, to just push everybody through at once. See, this is a bullshit world. They put us through a cheese grater and all expect us to come out the same way, and you know what? It fucking works. That's why you go outside in society, it's like they're a bunch of space cadets. They don't know anything about anything. You know, just believe every last thing they heard from authority, just like they learned in the classroom. Oh yeah, here's what else is fucked up. From September 27th to the anniversary upcoming of Piss on You, making fun of R. Kelly. So from R. Kelly getting found guilty for the sex crimes to Piss on You, its anniversary, it's going to be 181 days. And you know what? Speaking of which, here we are in Black History Month. Black History is 181. That's the 42nd prime number. And again, February 42 and a million other things is 42, including just the name Chappelle alone. You know, Chappelle's 42, N-word's 42, slavery's 42, Martin's 42, Malcolm X 42. You know, Martin the sitcom, he's in Detroit on the 42nd parallel, living in an apartment 42. Black History on the Bus 42, Tuskegee 42, Jackie 42, and a whole bunch of other shit I'm not even covering. You know, Dave Chappelle's other civil rights leader in the entertainment world, LeBron James 42. Used to be Muhammad Ali 42 and 201. Remember, we said exactly why Muhammad Ali would die at 74 in 2016. And he did die at 74 in 2016, and he even died on 6/3, because 2016 is the 63rd triangular number, and he died on 6/3/2016, like the Prophet Muhammad died at age 63, and Muhammad equals 74. That's how we knew Muhammad Ali was going down at 74. That's another boss number for the Society of Jesus, because Jesus and Muhammad are both 74. And think about how divisive religion is. Think about the Crusades. Think about the Templar cross and the Jesuit logo. That's who these people are, the new military order of the Catholic Church, but they're way more fucking clever. They fight the world by being clever little dickheads, and you have to give it to them. I mean, they've built the technology that's dominating us. You know, they've built the tactics, and they got the world hook, line, and sinker. So you got to give it up to them. They're funny little clever fuckers that are way too clever for most other people, you know? I like when Christians upload videos about me. Zach's one of them too. He's a Jew. He said 6 years ago that he didn't know who his dad was, and his dad's dad could be Jewish, so he's a Jew. And it's like, well, where the fuck is your logic? I'm the one who told you that my dad doesn't know who his dad is, which is a fact, and he'll never know now because his mom's died. You know, she finally passed away. She lived a long life. And I told him, I said, she's got good genes. I mean, we know how she didn't take care of herself at all. She wanted to die forever, and she just kept living. But, she had problems, and she never told my dad who his dad is. His dad might be Jewish. I do look kind of Jewish. Doesn't mean I am Jewish. I'm not circumcised. I was raised Lutheran. You guys can accuse all you want, but the thing is, some of you guys make videos, and you say, the reason he gets all this stuff is because he's got those Jew brains. Well, I don't want to take the side of the Ashkenazis, but they do say that their IQs are about 20 points higher than everybody else on average. I don't know if it's fucking true. Maybe it is why I'm a little bit smarter than everybody else. Might also be because I grew up in Florida, or not Florida, but Portland, Oregon, and one of the only cities in the world that's not fluoridated. That's what I was trying to say. Portland, Oregon is one of the only cities in the world not fluoridated. I think they might have started putting fluoride in the water. The population's changed in a huge way the last decade. But not only did we not get fluoride in the water, my mom was super against fluoride. She knew that it was bad for you. So I never had any toothpaste. I never had a dental appointment. I never got fluoride into my body until probably when I moved down to Arizona for college when I was 18 years old. And they say the fluoride, when it fucks you up, is actually when you're a kid. It's not as big of a deal when you get older. It gets you when you're a kid. That's what the research on fluoride shows. So I might have grown up in the important years without getting impacted. And it's too bad. It's too bad if that's the difference. That's where maybe I should have some more passion for people. I'm just so sick of people, man. People are a fucking joke. They like being good slaves. They like getting laughed at. They like literally getting pissed on. That's what you have to understand. This joke's about more than R. Kelly and Dave Chappelle. This is about how we get pissed on. Lied to every day. They feed us piss all day. You know? Dave Chappelle. I'm paid, I got it made. I don't want none of the above. All I want to do is piss on you. Somebody out there's like, man, I like the things Dave Chappelle's saying these days, man. I don't know what about you're saying. Okay. Yeah, he is saying some things that need to be said. That's how they get people to take sides. You got to see the game, how it's being played. Is Dave Chappelle going to come out and say, yo, Zachary K. Hubbard's really sticking up for black people, and Google over there censoring the shit out of him. He's trying to educate how black people are getting murdered by a damn code for 9 years straight and not getting the attention it deserves. You think Dave Chappelle's going to come out and do that? Why doesn't Dave Chappelle come out and do that? Don't you think Dave Chappelle, as a black man, should be supporting my work? CeeLo Green did it. That's what shows me that not all these controllers or all these people are as controlled as others. CeeLo Green took my video and shared it on his Instagram page about the racial the same type of shit I've written books about and I'm showing all the time. So, there's other people. I mean, he hasn't shown, he might have gotten slapped on the wrist when they said no more of that. I mean, he didn't share anything since, but, Lord Jamar, he got on a live stream and showed my book, Unfortunately, Lord Jamar probably has one follower for every million that Snoop Dogg has. And it's not that he's not deserving. It's just that's the way the game is. If you're on TV, if you're next to Martha Stewart, if you're doing every last commercial and at the Super Bowl, that's where the mind's eye is. Not on Lord Jamar, who hasn't had a hit song for 30 years, you know? So. But shout out to Lord Jamar and CeeLo Green, because it's appreciated. Shout out to Jeff Young of Megadeth, the first person from the music world to put me on his own radio show and start sharing the work. And I was on there for a long time, a lot of episodes. And right now I'm trying to figure out a way to get Jeff Green out to Oklahoma City on April 19th. We need the musicians to show up. God, if we can figure out to get some musicians, because it would be nice, but God, you probably got to have licenses. They'd probably shut it down, man. I just imagine an event where you got musicians there with the right message, and, you know, it's like you got the music, you got the speakers, you're bringing it all together. That's how it's going to have to be to get more people into it, but yeah. Anyway, all the other Dave Chappelle stuff I've been covering in recent times. Dave Chappelle just came out about the Bob Saget thing 144 days from his birthday. Jesuit Order 144. He said, oh, man, I feel bad that I didn't get back to Bob Saget. I ignored his last text message. What's the point of even a fucking story like that? Like, oh, I'm Dave Chappelle. I've still walked the earth. You know, I was a way bigger comic, and now it's like, oh, pity me because, man, I feel bad that I didn't text this guy back. And is Bob Saget even really dead? They come out yesterday on 9/2 and said he died from a head trauma. Took a month to figure out that he died from a head trauma. They had to release it on 9/2. Snoop's buying death row by the numbers on 9/2, established in 92 on the 56th day of the year. And again, Snoop Dogg equals 112. He bought it yesterday, 112 days after his birthday. Just like how his mom died 112 days before the Super Bowl 56. Dave Chappelle sparks LGBTQ controversy on the eve of Matthew Shepard's fatal beating. You remember Matthew Shepard was end of the 90s. I never really thought about homosexuality until MTV made a big deal about the Matthew Shepard killing. And let me see if I linked it in here. Oh, look, we were talking about Dave Chappelle 56 and 241 then too as well, because 241 is the 53rd prime, like transgender, and equanimity was the word they were using there, and Vanity Fair's where the Caitlyn Jenner thing happened. Hold on. I think Matthew Shepard was a big 56 ritual too. Let me go back and check real quick. Yeah, Matthew Shepard, beaten 56 days before his birthday. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? How the Jesuits... For the transgender person out there that occasionally does a commentary on my video and calls me mentally ill, like literally, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you know what it's like to be called mentally ill by a transgender person? They're saying that what I'm doing is nonsense? Yeah, okay. Chopping off your genitals and then taking pills to reverse your body's natural chemistry. That sounds totally fucking sane. Yeah, and that's what's wrong with our society. Actually, if you went out and surveyed most Americans, they'd probably think that becoming transgender is more sane than what I'm sharing, because I've gone through the demonization of friends and family for trying to enlighten them about what's really going on. But yeah, Matthew Shepard, 56 days from the birthday. Dave Chappelle on the anniversary of his beating. He's got the whole community so hot. Hold on. There's got to be... Why is that? Oh, because I searched Matthew Shepard. Let me pull back up the Dave Chappelle things. Dave Chappelle test positive for COVID-19. Again, he's been used in all the 56 rituals. This was 151 days after his birthday, pandemic 151. Remember, they say the first case of COVID showed up in the U.S., which was the first case in the world outside of China on January 15th, 15/1 like 151. That was the same day Jesuit-educated Trump signed off on his trade deal with China, who would then call it the China virus. And Bill Gates at that same time, who's in Seattle where the first case showed up, across the street from the world's biggest needle, Mr. Vaccine, Space Needle. Think about it. King County, the corona is the crown. The king wears the crown. King County, Seattle, Space Needle, vaccine agenda. Anyway, Bill Gates at the start of the pandemic referred to his solution to stopping the outbreak as the final solution which was Nazi terminology for the need for a certain population reduction. And funny enough, at Bill Gates' 2010 talk, 10 years before COVID, and 3 days before his decade of vaccine speech, funny enough, Bill Gates, he said that we need to reduce population, and we can do it if we do a good job with those little jabs. Came right out of his mouth. Go listen to the first 6 minutes of Bill Gates' 2010 TED Talk, Innovating to Zero. William Henry Gates, his full name equals 201. In reverse, it equals 258, just like Order of Illuminati, like how he set up his vaccine alliance on July 12th, 99, his 258th day of his age, like how his dad died on the 258th day of the year in the pandemic. But he said the final solution, and the reason that matters is because the Nazis, when they began sending Jews to camps, that started on January 15th. And Bill Gates comes from a Jewish family, which is interesting to think about. You can only say so much these days, but again, I mean, this is just perfect rituals with all these celebrities over and over. Oh, yeah, and he was down there with Joe Rogan, who was doing the same shit by the numbers. By the way, News Radio equals 54. News Radio ended on May 4th. Joe Rogan started on News Radio at age 54. He's having this rough year with all the controversies, from the vaccine to the N-word. The N-word thing broke on 4/2, the anniversary of Rosa Parks' birthday. But, you know, Chappelle was down there in Jesuit-controlled Austin. Remember, Austin kept the power out on Texas last year over Valentine's weekend, and we predicted a month in advance why there'd be crazy weather and blackouts all over the nation on Valentine's Day, based off the Public Enemy album, which came out 56 days from Chuck D's birthday, called What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down, when power outage equals 56. And that album came out with Arizona on the cover, and Arizona's birthday is Valentine's Day, the day of the power outages all over. And not to mention that album was released not only 56 days from Chuck D's birthday. Shut them down. It was a different type of shut them down. It was shut down the poor people and see what they do in the freezing ass weather that they're not used to. But that album was also released on the day of JFK's 1961 speech about the need to control the weather. And the phrase weather control equals 201-177, just like the Jesuit order. Numbers that they use all the time. Again, Event 201 put on by Klaus Schwab, whose name equals 177, again and again. Captain Tom dies in the UK after being knighted on 17/7, like 177 on his 201st day of being a knight, supposedly from COVID. And then he dies 56 days from Maggie Keenan being the first person to be vaccinated in the world, and Maggie Keenan's 56. And then the second person to be vaccinated supposedly was William Shakespeare, who said all the world's a stage, the author. And then he died on Mike Myers' birthday, who played Captain Evil, or Dr. Evil, in Austin Powers, where he flies around in a dick rocket. And then Jeff Bezos blasts off into space on the 201st day of the year, supposedly, 56 days after Mike Myers' birthday, the day William Shakespeare died, in a fucking dick rocket. And if you've ever wondered if Amazon's logo is a dick, it now obviously is. We now see that that is also another dick joke, from piss on you to fuck you up your ass to we're going to space in dick rockets on the 201st day of the year. You know? What else have I been covering about Dave Chappelle? So, Dave Chappelle, he had his comedy special was removed on the 93rd day of his age. Remember, Black History Month equals 93, Martin Luther King Jr. 93, Malcolm X 93, Carter G. Woodson dead on the 93rd day of the year. They say Jesus died on the 93rd day of the year, and again, the Bible starts with the 42 generations of Jesus, or the New Testament does. And again, the only physical description left of Jesus describes him of someone with darker skin. However, if you read the New International Version, it's hard to tell what color his skin is, but in the King James Version, it makes it very clear that his skin is like black. And again, the hair description has the words like wool in it. And everybody just wants to go, no, it's only talking about the color. It doesn't have anything to do with the like wool or that the skin's darker. And plus, that was just a dream in Revelation. It's like, okay, but that's the only description anywhere in the Bible of Jesus. And you want to tell me that you think that's just arbitrary and let all the numbers they code on these black people over and over as they kill them, as they shame them? All the same numbers from Jesus in the Bible? You're a hardcore coincidence theorist. Not to mention, again, they killed Tupac on, if Tupac even really died, but they killed him on Caesar. The story is he died on Caesar Borgia's birthday, the guy who White Jesus is modeled after. Then they put out an album with him on the cross. I mean, come on. Then this year with the cross stage on the anniversary of the album, the Travis Scott tragedy on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Oh, yeah, by the way, about that March 26th date, the same day Eazy-E died, the same day the Piss on You music video came out, that's the only day in history that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. ever met. Who you think controlled them? Both gave them their names that equal 93, like Black history, connected to Jesus, and then they both get crucified at age 39? Okay, I don't want to go over all this stuff, but remember, Dave Chappelle does the 8:46 skit because they said that's how long Chauvin. And remember, it's all about dick jokes. Look it up and tell me I'm wrong. May 26th, the news breaks about George Floyd. From his October 14th birthday to his death on Memorial Day was his 225th day of his age. Eventually, Chauvin gets 22.5 years in prison. And the day after the news breaks of George Floyd, the Catholic Church settles for $22.5 million for sexual abuse of children. And then the story comes out that George Floyd had a second grade teacher, when you're that tender age of like 6 or 7. And his teacher's name was Waynell Sexton. And look at what they just did on 4/2 in Minnesota. The viral story that day was Amir Locke had his lock busted through by the police at 6:48, 846 in reverse, and his fucking name is Amir. And Amir of 846 is 648. Amir Locke, 648. Amir Locke, what's it equal in Gematria? Comes out on 4/2, the anniversary of Rosa Parks' birthday. Amir Locke in the most pure cipher, 42, just like February. Like body camera. It was the body camera footage capturing all this. Like the N-word, You can't see the way these Jesuits are fucking with us? And realize it's always Jesuit Georgetown leading the instigation of the reparations argument. Always hanging that out there and bringing that back up in cycles. Georgetown always doing something for reparations, the Jesuit university. They only do that. I know you just can't. Some people will listen to the whole video and they'll be like, wait a minute, so you're not for reparations? No, I'm not for reparations. Where's that money going to come from? This same Jesuit banking system that just gives more debt and enslaves us more and more? How the fuck's that going to help anything? It's not. Get that through your head. This is elementary. If you can't figure that out, and if you're going to go, but it's justified, okay, it might be justified. But the reality is, where's the money and the justice going to come from? The criminal system that's going to enslave you more? You think that's real justice? Then you're an idiot. Okay? That's the end of the debate. You lost. I'm not saying it's not justified. I'm saying the only real justice you want to get rid of slavery is to destroy this cabal. Tear down this federal government. Get rid of these Jesuit institutions. Spread the word far and wide. Make it happen worldwide. And somebody will say, well, something evil will rise up in its place. Yeah, that's the nature of humanity. But you know what? Is that a reason to not fight the evil that's here today that's fucking with us? Let's see if we can't fix humanity. Because you see, that's what the evil does every day. The evil programs you with all the wrong negative shit. They got this totally polluted society with all the wrong mindsets and values and beliefs. Created a society of useless people who don't stand for any of the right things. They'll line up with the tyrants. They'll keep getting raped and pillaged. They made it this way, and I've read all the books from the Bible to the Hermetica. They all say that it's supposed to be this way. But when I read these books, I see the knowledge and wisdom, and I understand the stories. But I say, man, they're all telling me that it's supposed to be this way. This is just the way it is. I don't believe that. I said I don't like to use the word believe, but I'll use it there. I don't think so. I think it is this way because of all the programming and nonstop mind fuckery and everything they do. That's what I think. I think it needs to be broken, and then we'll see if it can heal. I'm not a bad person. I'm the type of person you want as a neighbor. You got a problem, I'll help you out. You knock on my door at any hour, I'll come over and help you out. You need something, I'll help you out as long as I can do that. That's the way you're supposed to be. The problem was I was that way for my neighbor at my old house, and because I was good to him, and this guy's a fucking Christian guy. This guy ends up robbing my own house because he gets a whiff of what's going on in there. After I helped him out because he was in a bad spot? Oh my God, you don't even want to get me started. Guy robs my house, bails out of town, comes back 2 weeks later with a brand new fucking car because he made off with a fortune. Why was there a fortune in my house? Because I couldn't put the fortune in the bank because of the federal bullshit laws. You got a weed business that's legal in the state? Well, you can't put any of your money in the bank or we'll seize it and keep it because we're the feds. Trust me, you guys. I didn't just come to YouTube one day and say, I don't have anything going for me in my life. I think I'm just going to start making conspiracy videos because I'm some lame loser. No. Through all my life, I was successful. And I was successful up until the day I started this work. But I got tired of getting fucked over with everything, and I said the real thing that I should be doing with my intelligence and energy is exposing this evil before it gets worse and worse and worse than it already has. I knew bad shit was coming 19 years after 9/11 and the 19 hijackers. I educated about it for how many years straight before it happened? COVID-19, 19 years after the hijackers, in line with the 19 cycles of the moon. Again, you start studying these occultists and the information that's out there, you're like, I see what all this shit's about. I see why the numbers are a language. Shout out to Neo the Hacker. He did an episode on how the 42nd episode of Martin is him stuck at the bus station when bus is 42. Rosa Parks dies in Detroit from Tuskegee. She dies on the 42nd parallel from the Tuskegee town, which equals 42. Born on 4/2. Family Matters, again, the 42nd episode called Fight the Good Fight that came out on the 60th day of the year, where the N-word printed on the locker. I mean, it's just... And shout out to Kayla Decode Talker. That was her fine. If you guys aren't subscribed to Kayla, Kayla, like K like that diamond company that advertise all the time, LA at the end. It's like K Los Angeles, Kayla space Decode space Talker. She's one of the best in the community, and she's got a nice, sweet voice. And Neo the Hacker, like Neo from the Matrix, killing it. So are a lot of people in the community. But again, look at the people in the chat, look at the people talking about their work, who's streaming afterwards, and follow these people. Follow and support the people in this community. The Chigozi Truths of the world, etc. Oh, yeah, and then just how Dave Chappelle fit in with Minnesota. And the reason Osama bin Laden's up there is because, again, they said the first plane hit the World Trade Centers at 8:46. George Floyd equals 119. Remember what they just did last week? They said Putin's planning a false flag. That was 119 days after his birthday, on the same day that Biden supposedly blew up an ISIS terrorist. Like when he was VP, Obama supposedly killed Osama 119 weeks after becoming president. And again, if you guys don't know this, the story of the Tower of Babel ends with Genesis 11:9, the tower that divides the world. September 11th, written 11/9 in the majority of the world. Genesis 11:9. Again, all this shit is biblical. George Floyd, 119. You know, he's a tower of a man. Big George. Genesis 11:9. That is why it was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. Again, the Tower of Babel divided the people of the world. Biblical riddles. Genesis also equals New York. There's a whole bunch of shit to say about it. Said it all before. But yeah, that's why you got to know the ciphers forwards and backwards just to see how they're syncing all this stuff up, man. And don't forget, the World Trade Centers were proposed by the Rockefeller family. And I suppose I should have showed that Rockefeller is also 56. You know, Jay-Z, who started with Rockefeller Records in tribute to the Rockefellers, he put out Jay-Z, the Blueprint, on September 11, 2001, the day of 9/11, and those buildings were proposed by the Rockefeller family. They're the ones that spearheaded the project. Cali Park had the observation. Adam Weishaupt, 846 in Sumerian. Yeah. Adam Weishaupt's the Jesuit that founded the Illuminati. Yeah, there's a lot that can be said. I mean, put out a lot of work, you guys. So use the website, use the search feature, go back and find the old posts. Connect the dots even further than I already have. That's what when I actually take the time to go back and read like 20 of my old posts, I'm always like, holy shit, man. Now I really see what they did. God, this web is tight. But yeah, if you guys got here late, rewind the video, watch from the beginning. Dave Chappelle got famous with that piss on you, making fun of R. Kelly. Now he's the hero of Yellow Stream, Ohio. Yellow Springs, Ohio. Oh, man. And it's all synced up. It's synced up with R. Kelly getting busted on the Jesuit date. It's synced up with the upcoming anniversary of the Piss on You video. Man. If you can laugh about all this, it's good, because laughing is the real medicine for being in the state we're in. Totally fucked. And with that said, I got to promote one more YouTube channel who's been censored a whole bunch too over the years. And that's Truth Virus 17. And I just want to go. He's funnier than anything Dave Chappelle's doing these days. And I just want to play, his little 20-second clip here from the other day. Truth Virus 17, you guys. This is another man. And see, I hate how they unsubscribe people. I was totally subscribed to his channel. Now I'm unsubscribed. His channel's not. No wonder his number stays so low. Just unsubscribing people. It's a fucking joke, man. Anyway.
Me. I'm going in for my 13th booster today. Me. Available at Walmart. Me. 33% off. Me.
Man, if you listen to him though, like when he's ranting, he'll always break out that sheep voice, and it's fucking perfect, man. I've never heard anybody do it with their voice as well as Truth Virus. So, and by the way, just with regards to the sheep thing, I mean, did you guys miss this? I mean, you think the piss on you thing's bad? I mean, you got an argument right here that this was even fucking worse. Germany lines up sheep and goats in 300-foot syringe pose to encourage vaccinations. I mean, it's just like, get the fuck out of here. Germany, the Nazis, the final plan, Bill Gates with his final plan reference in light of that date being the same as the date that the whole COVID thing kicked off. That's the problem, you guys. Google is a Jesuit company. That's why they recognize their birthday as September 27th, the day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome, and it's why their CEO, Sundar Pichai, equals 201 like the Jesuit order. And that's why they keep terrorizing people like me. That's why I've been fucked with so much on the Ides of March in the years I've been doing this. It's probably coming again this year based on the recent resume. But all roads lead to Rome, and these people are some sick fucks that got some sick but kind of funny jokes. And if you're falling for this and you think I'm wrong, understand. I'm going to close out with this one more time too. Everyone's got to know about this. This film, The God Committee, it's on Netflix right now. They recently added it. It came out June 20th, 2021. Stars Kelsey Grammer, who was in The Big Show. Frasier, set in Seattle, the 206 area code. This date 20/6. You might recall in 2020 I predicted that there'd be a ritual killing in the CHOP in Seattle, the anonymous zone, the autonomous zone, on 20/6 in the 206, and there was. And then the 56th mayor of the city, she shut down the CHOP after that. All this shit's so predictable. But Frasier, the main star in this movie, is about him coming up with a way to surgically install pig hearts into human beings because so many people die each year from not getting a heart that they need. And again, in the news, January 7th, 2022, supposedly the first ever pig heart installed to a human. This was in the real news. And from that movie to that story happening is 201 days later. And at the same time this news was coming out is when there were starting to be emissions from, the top authorities that maybe there's some things here that are a little bit bad about the vaccinations we did. Most people should be okay, but, people who are over 55, which is 56 and up, and people who have some health problems, you might find that you have some heart swelling because of the vaccines being allowed to be given 8 weeks apart, which is 56 days. And don't forget, from Event 201 to the first case of COVID in the world, December 12th. It's changed to November 17th now, but initially it was December 12th, was a span of 56 days, like coronavirus, like COVID vaccine. But, yeah, they're talking about how a lot of people's hearts can get fucked up now, you guys. And coincidentally, they just came out with this new procedure that they can literally turn you into a swine. You can become a swine and live on. Maybe your heart's going to tucker out because, they were trying to save you from the killer pandemic. Unfortunately, it tapped out your heart. But it's okay because now they can give you a genetically modified pig heart and you can truly have a swine chakra. That's part of the thing about 4 and 7, too. That's the mind and the heart and chakras. With all the 47 shit they do. Isn't all their information to attack your fucking head and your heart? Your heart actually does have some capability, so it's all part of a system. If one's polluted, so is the other. But yeah, you guys think all this stuff's a joke? You don't think they're laying it out? You don't think they're executing their plan that they laid out in their entertainment that they brought with us to introduce these ideas? I mean, it's too bad that people still don't understand this. It really is too bad that people don't understand these simple concepts when, I mean, there's just so much evidence for it. Cognitive dissonance is a real motherfucker, man. So, if you guys, again, if you guys missed the video on Snoop Dogg, let me see if it uploaded to BitChute. Let me see if it ever processed. No, BitChute's up to its typical tricks, too. BitChute, you guys, don't donate a fucking dime to this BitChute platform. I'm sure it's at 72% right now, like JESUIT order. This thing has, recently it's been accepting my videos. This is the first time I've had trouble in a while. But before, I pretty much gave up on BitChute because I'd try to have to upload a video 10 times before it finally processed. But recently they've been going through. But here's the thing. Now I don't get any fucking views on this channel except for this video that was the live stream at the Fred Meyer shooting because people are interested in that. But still, it didn't even get 1,000 views. But back when I first started using BitChute, I'd get several thousand views. Now it's like I get 100 fucking views. So this platform's no different than everything else. Retard from Boston's over here with this typical bullshit, nonsense drivel getting 10,000, 20,000 views a video. It's like, okay. There was a time when Retard from Boston had hardly any subscribers, and I had like 30,000. And then all the censorship came, and all of a sudden he had 500,000 and became the face of the truth community. It's a fucking joke, man. They censored all the real truth people, and they made the dumbest people in the community the new faces of it. From Low Impact Flicks to Retard from Boston. And, again, those guys don't really have anything to offer you besides fear and to sell you some shit. Here, buy a t-shirt from me. Buy some basement snacks. Buy a solar charger light. You know, these guys are worse than the mainstream media. So, and for any of you guys who follow this guy right here, Adam Greenstein, or is it just Adam? Maybe it's Adam Green. Again, he interviewed me and then he deleted the interview the next day. His handlers told him not to teach about Gematria. And a lot of people saw that as a major red flag. And then, again, he's over there promoting all his false information all day and he's getting big views too. All the false promoters with the bullshit-ass information, that's the stuff that's getting favored, whether it's YouTube or BitChute. So, anyway. By the way, The God Committee, the name of this film, read it and weep. Read it and weep. Let me just show you real quick. The God Committee. You see the 72 forwards and backwards? Jesuits created on a 72-date numerology, huge number with their rituals over and over. So, all right, I think we hit all the points. Talked a little bit more about the Snoop Dogg. If you want to come over to my site, you can read about Prince Charles testing positive for COVID today. Again, Super Bowl 56 is all about the royal family. Royal family 56. The king died at age 56, making it Queen Elizabeth. Cincinnati, the Queen City's in the Super Bowl. Cincinnati equals 96. She's in her 96th year of life. She just said Queen Camilla coming up soon. Sounds a lot like Kamala, who took the White House at age 56. And again, the Super Bowl's 67 days before her birthday. Queen Camilla has Gematria 67. Her full title also equals 96 as well. And the word king is 67. And when she dies, her son Charles, who has COVID right now by the numbers. I got to study Queen Charlotte because I looked at... Here, I'll just tell you real quick in case anybody else wants to put more thought into this. So today's 10/2, right before the 102nd NFL season closure, Super Bowl 56, Royal Family 56, 102nd season. This is all about them. And again, it's 88 days after her birthday, while Charles is in his 74th year of life, this diagnosis of COVID. London is 88 and 74. Elizabeth's 88. Remember when Trump came out to Queen, We Are the Champions in 2016 at his convention? That was 88 days after her birthday, and then they had a comedian for the DNC named Elizabeth make fun of that. It was just so obvious. But today's 70 days before his mom's birthday, the Queen. Coronavirus and COVID vaccine are 70. So is United Kingdom, which I should have put up there. At first, when the UK strain came out, it was 70% more infectious. Then it became 56% more infectious. And again, coronavirus and COVID vaccine, 56 forwards and backwards. Royal family also 56. Today's the Pope's 56th day of his age. And Prince Charles has Gematria like tiger. Here we are in the year of the tiger. Elizabeth was born as a fire tiger. Now it's the water tiger. And The last time he tested positive was March 25th, 2020, 687 days earlier. Queen Charlotte in Jewish Gematria is 687, and Charlotte alone is 102. And I did a video on Gematria Effect News over the weekend on why I wouldn't be surprised if the Queen dies in May, in light of the band Queen, where the main writer was Brian May for their songs. And also because Led Zeppelin put out their most famous song, Stairway to Heaven, 201 days after her birthday, talking about a spring clean for the May Queen. And they were sued by the band Taurus for that song recently, and Taurus is in May. May 20th is the day leaving 225 days left in the year. The Queen's full birth name equals 225 the big way, 99 the small way, like how her husband died at 99 on the 99th day of the year. And now you have this Super Bowl in the season that began on 9-9, and the quarterbacks, where it's the battle of 9 versus number 9, and Jupiter equals 99, the striped planet that's a tiger, like it's the year of the tiger, and she's a tiger. But, yeah, there's this big web of rituals. If she dies May 20th, that would be the anniversary of Billy Cannon's death. Again, the day leaving 225 days left in the year, going with her name. And that number has a lot to do with the Catholic Church and the Holy Trinity. We talked about it last night on TFR with the death of the young Cincinnati soccer player who died in 2021, who wore number 3 in a supposed drowning. And anyway, in light of what I was saying over the weekend about how I wouldn't be surprised if she kicks it around May 20th, and this thing being synced up with Queen Charlotte, I noticed that Queen Charlotte was born May 19th in history. So I think that's another clue that, it might be all over for Queen Lizzie at age 96. Again, Cincinnati equals 96. She's in her 96th year of life. Joe Burrow's born in 96. The Bengals go into the Super Bowl against the Rams 8-6. The divisional round weekend, number 96 lost his dad. He died the day of the game as they upset the Titans. He was the 54th overall pick in the draft for the Bengals Dunlap. Bengals 54 season, Water Tiger 54. And they beat the Tennessee Titans, the only team in the AFC that equals 54 that day. Both the 49ers and the Bengals, who met in Super Bowl 16. Let me show you something real quick. When the Bengals upset the Titans and the 49ers upset the Packers, and like I told my people before those games were played, we saw there was a good chance they both would upset, but I said if the Bengals beat the Titans, you better be all over the 49ers to beat the Packers in the next game. Because that game was on the anniversary of Super Bowl 23 between the Bengals and 49ers. But those teams also played in Super Bowl 16. You see how gold is 16? Joe Montana, number 16. Joe Burrow drafted in the NFL after the Joe Montana Bowl, Super Bowl 54 between the Niners and Chiefs, who both went down in the conference championships as Joe Burrow goes to the championship. But Joe Burrow was drafted on his 136th day of his age. That's the 16th triangular number. Last week, Mahomes laid down. After Mahomes got up 21-3, Joseph Lee Burrow equals 213, now in the Super Bowl on 213. He laid down on his 136th day of his age, the 16th triangular. The trick for the Super Bowl is either Burrow's getting his 16th career win or the Rams can win their 16th game of the season. Again, Joe Burrow transferred to the LSU Tigers the day Billy Cannon died. Billy Cannon won the Heisman and beat Clemson in the championship in New Orleans, just like Joe Burrow achieved at LSU, the same resume, the only 2 LSU players to ever win the Heisman. And then Billy Cannon played for the Raiders, the Titans, who were the Oilers then, and the Chiefs, but he was drafted by the Rams. Now Joe Burrow plays the Raiders, the Titans, the Chiefs, and faces the Rams in the Super Bowl. Billy Cannon taken number 1 overall by the Rams, just like Burrow. Billy Cannon died May 20th, 2018, the day Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, was shot with a cannonball. That's why 201 days after the Ignatian year began, Nick Cannon was in the news for the death of his son, and then the child died 56 days before the announcement of the new child he's having with the model who used to be with Johnny Manziel, which, if you missed that video, it's over there. Watch it somewhere. It'll blow your mind. But, again, and then they just evacuated the Cannon Building in D.C. on Joe Burrow's 56th day of his age, and the Cannon Building's named after a guy who went to University of Cincinnati. Anyway, with regards to Gold 16, and this all starting with Super Bowl 16, and Joe Burrow being the new Joe Montana, Super Bowl 54, again, Joe Montana 54 was the Joe Montana Bowl, and it was 54 days after Joe Burrow's birthday. Now in his 54th season, he takes the Bengals to the Super Bowl. But look at this. If I read out Vesica Pisces, again, we talked about this earlier. This is the spiritual shape that's a lot like a vagina. It's also a lot like your eye. It's also a lot like a football. Vesica Pisces is 134. Super Bowl 16 was on the 134-year anniversary of the gold rush beginning. And again, gold is 16. It was on 24/1, like 241, the 53rd prime. It was in the year 82. You see how Vesica Pisces hits all those values? What a perfect ritual. And again, when you know history, when you can figure out the number riddle, you can figure out what their scripted narrative is for the year. And that's why we've done it so many times, college and pro, across all sports, all across the world, because it's the same cabal running the whole damn show, and English is the language of the world. That's why they made this language and synced it up with the calendar. But, and again, this massive Dave Chappelle ritual and Snoop Dogg ritual, they're both all about 56, right before Super Bowl 56. Well, we're at a critical moment in history. You know, that's what you need to understand. If you're understanding what I'm saying, it's not just about like being blown away by the connections. It's understanding what the agenda is and how bad they're fucking with humanity right now. I mean, to make Snoop Dogg like this great person at this day and age. You know, I mean, when I was in 4th grade, Snoop Dogg was getting popular, and, you know, I had to just to know who I was, I had to sneak the Doggy Style record out of the record store back then. You know, you had to wear a hat and walk on your tippy toes because you were still short back then, and walk above the security camera or, you know, the security thing at the door so the sensor wouldn't go off. But, I mean, that's who I was as a 4th grader. And that's when Snoop Dogg was getting famous. And you know, I was listening to his music back then. But, I mean, that's not the type of person who you're just like, okay, I can kind of get down with this gangster thing is for, like, some kind of entertainment, something different to think about. But, you know, this isn't the person you expect to grow up and then be like this, oh, wow, Snoop Dogg, man, I just, you know, he's doing some great things. He's doing these commercials and now owning. I mean, this isn't the person you want to cheer for in society and see becoming this person of influence. I know they always try to make him out like he's a decent guy on TV now. He's supporting youth football and all this, but these people are, you know, they signed, like I played this morning before they took it down. Go back and watch the Murder Was the Case music video. We've been talking all about 56. Again, go back and look with your own eyes. From Snoop's birthday to that murder was 56 days. The guy they got to play the devil in the Murder Was the Case music video, they got a 56-year-old actor at the time. These people aren't playing, you guys. And it's all religion, understand that. It's all about the light and Illuminati. It's all about they have the knowledge and we don't. I'll close out with this. Why 56? Genesis 1:3. Genesis 1:3, where God makes light in the most simple cipher. Here, I do kind of want you to see it forwards and backwards for a second. Light is 56 and 79. The word 3 is 56 and 79. Abrahamic is 56, but not 79. But the thing is, Genesis 1:3 is where God makes light. The Bengals are now going to their 3rd Super Bowl in Super Bowl 56. One of the big deaths in Cincinnati this year was a young, you know, attractive athlete for another kind of football team, a soccer team, who supposedly drowned, a star athlete that drowns who wore the number 3, you know? And not to mention, she died in a big Jesuit ritual, as we covered back then. But Abrahamic, again, 56. The Abrahamic religions are the 3 religions. Again, 356, and God makes light in Genesis 1:3. And remember, Society of Jesus, if I bring back the reduction ciphers, the Jesuits, if I read out Society of Jesus, you see how it's got the 56, the 79, and the 187? Again, Abrahamic, the 3 religions that are all based in the Torah are the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And the Torah is 187 chapters. And notice something, just about music, and it's about more than rap. Watch what happens when I write out Xavier University. This is the Jesuit school in Cincinnati. Xavier University has this 191. And God, it's also got the 241, and they're in Ohio with the whole Dave Chappelle 241 thing. That probably factors in with Dave Chappelle, because where are these scripts being written at? My theory has been all along that they're being written at the Ivy League and Jesuit schools. I've thought that since the earliest days of this research. But Xavier University, 191, look at Society of Jesus. 191. Now notice, Xavier University is 191 years old right now. I'm going to close out with this about the music and all this. It brings it all together, the entertainment. Xavier University wiki page. I want you to see this. How come Google's making it so their wiki page doesn't come up anymore? Okay. You see how old they are right now? Xavier is 191 years old right now. And we just said Society of Jesus 191, Xavier University 191. Now notice, the Who is returning to Cincinnati for the first time since their concert tragedy, and that's a big theme. That's a big theme because we just had a huge concert tragedy at the Travis Scott concert. Now look, their concert's scheduled for May 15th. The Travis Scott tragedy was November 5th, the day leaving, 56 days left in the year. Their concert, again, is May 15th, 2022. It's 191 days later, right? 191. And look at the Gematria Society of Jesus. 191 days after the tragedy on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Ohio equals 187 in satanic Gematria. That's where it's going to be at. And with regards to the last time they played there, it was 79. And in light of this being synced up with the Who and Xavier, notice Xavier is 79. Notice the Who is 79. So is Murder. You see? And if you go back and watch the work I did when the Travis Scott thing happened, I was showing how it was synced up in history with the Who concert. And if you think all this is a coincidence, here, let me finish your thought that maybe this is all a coincidence. And if you still think it's a coincidence after what I'm about to show you, then effectively you need to understand, like, there's something so severely wrong with your mind that it's beyond pathetic, and you are everything that's wrong with the world. Now listen. Francis Xavier is who Xavier University is named after, the co-founder of the Jesuits, okay? Do you see, his April 7th birthday is a whole other topic, but do you see that he died December 3rd? He died December 3rd. What day did the Who tragedy happen in Cincinnati where Xavier University is? Do you know what day it happened? That's what's nice about the internet. What day did the Who concert tragedy happen? Let's see. Oh my God, it happened December 3rd in 79. On the same day Xavier died. And Xavier's 79. Again, you guys, this shit's not an accident. The whole COVID pandemic was all simulated by Jesuits. Anthony Fauci is one of the big faces. 56, 187, like Society of Jesus. The pandemic was declared March 11th, 2020, his 79th day being 79 years old. See how they do that? These people got all their pawns in all the right places. From Dave Chappelle to Anthony Fauci to Joe Biden to Donald Trump, the pandemic began 56 years after Donald Trump's Jesuit education began. From the royal family to Joe Burrow to, these people, they're fucking amazing what they're doing. But they're doing it, and they're pissing on us. So if you guys got here late, rewind the video to the beginning, stomach as much as you can, because there's a lot of knowledge and information that the whole world needs to know in here. And if you didn't understand something I said, go back and read my post. Maybe I missaid it, or maybe you just need to listen 2 times. And if you go to GematriaEffectNews 24, channel suspended right now, but if you go there, in the description, you can download both my ebooks for free. Not enough people bought the books. I was hoping it was going to raise $1 million and we could start Team Truth, but if nobody's going to support the work, well, I didn't do it for nothing. Please go out and download the books and read them and put the knowledge to use. Ultimately, that's the point, is to wake up the world. Maybe if we just give it all away for free, people will care. But, it's not like I charge much. People told me you should charge $5 because then people will think it's worth something. If it's just free, people won't want it. And there's a psychology to that, too. It's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But okay, we saw Dave Chappelle, Yellow Springs, Ohio, 241, the 53rd Prime, 53-acre plot. And now we see Xavier University's 241, which is just down the block. You think that's where the script was written? I actually think it makes a lot of sense. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. And it might be why Dave Chappelle's the chosen man in Ohio. So, by the way, here, you want to see the reason to run it forwards and backwards? Frank Robinson joined Major League Baseball in 56, Jesuit educated. That's the same year Jackie Robinson retired. So you get another black man, Frank Robinson. And, it's interesting that he debuted on 17/4. That's Boomer Esiason's birthday. Cincinnati equals 174. He became a Hall of Famer as a Red in 82, the year of their first Super Bowl. And again, he was a big star in Cincinnati. In 56, he set the rookie record with 38 home runs. Lo and behold, he goes on all these years later to die on the 38th day of the year at age 83. Dead February 7th. A lot of people die on that. And remember what happened this year in Washington State. I was exposing it on the ground at the Fred Meyer. The 38 code, the ritualistic PSYOP killings. And then the next day, after the 38th day of the year, they come out and say a 38-year-old killed a 38-year-old. Comical. And it was all synced up with the shooting in Colorado, the 38th state, and Kroger himself, who died in 1938. But in light of this man dying at 83 on the 38th day of the year and hitting 38 home runs in his rookie season, a MLB record back in 56, Xavier, 83 and 38 when you run it in reverse. And compare Xavier to Murder. You know, compare it. It's the exact same in every cipher. And long before I walked this earth, you guys, people were warning about the Jesuits, saying they were wolves in sheep's clothing, that they would even kill people to get their way. That's who this gang is. You know, for all the people, you know, I want to close out with one more thing. Let me make sure I'm still streaming and they didn't shut me down 40 minutes ago. I can't tell you how many times that's happened in my life. I'm like, oh my God, I've been going on for 50 minutes and the stream's been over. Looks like we're still going. But again, I think that's how these people got to the top. Not by being the smartest. I mean, they're smart and clever, but I think the real reason they got to the top is because they're just willing to do whatever the fuck they got to do to be at the top. If they got to kill you because you're in the way of their plan, they're going to fucking kill you. You know? And for the person out there who's like, well, why don't they kill you then? Well, my life's not over yet. We don't know how it's going to end. I have been threatened for a long time. I've dealt with a lot of shit. Have you guys had a car crash through your house on Christmas Eve? Has your house been ransacked multiple times? Have you been arrested in your own front yard on some bullshit? You know, this is all the stuff I've had to deal with since I started doing this work. You know? And more. Have you had all your online accounts hacked multiple times on the Ides of March? Have you had all your work censored online and had your revenue streams cut off? I've had to deal with a lot of shit. And not to mention, I lost my profession. Nobody will hire me as a teacher anymore. You know? I mean, I've had to deal with a lot of shit. But yeah, I never let it stop me. But here's what I was going to say, you know, these people, well, I don't even know if I want to talk about it. It's just going to piss somebody off. Let me see if they process my video. I don't think BitChute's going to process it. Same gang over there. Anyway, you guys, I think we got out the message loud and clear. And again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. And